Hello students. In your previous class you have already learned about C. Rajagopalachari. You have also learned about the desirable qualities and not so desirable qualities. In continuation with that we shall start with chapter 1, The Enchanted Pool. Thank you.
The Enchanted Pool. This is the first chapter of class 9, written by C. Rajagopalachari. C. Rajagopalachari had written popular books on Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Ramayana, and Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, he has a flair for telling stories and applying their moral principles in modern times. This chapter, The Enchanted Pool, is a part of the great Indian Mahabharata narrated by Saint Vyasa. It reflects the character of Yudhishthira, the Dharma Raja, his patience, kindness, love for his brothers, and intelligence. Yudhishthira pleases Yaksha by giving satisfactory answers to his questions. In the Mahabharata, the Pandavas lost everything in the game of dice to the Kauravas and had to live in the forest for 12 years. During this period, they had to constantly move from one place to place for safety and to meet their daily needs. One day, in the 12th year, the Pandava brothers wandered deep into the forest in pursuit of a deer. What is game of dice? So you know that the Pandavas had lost everything in the game of dice to the Kauravas, their cousins. Game of dice. Dice is a small cube with each side having different number of spots on it. How many years did they live in the forest? 12 years. So during this period they had to constantly move from one place to another for safety and to meet their daily needs. So here constantly means continuously. One day in the 12th year, the Pandava brothers wandered deep into the forest in pursuit of a deer. Deer. Yaksha was in the disguise of the deer. Yaksha. Yudhishthira's father wanted to see him and also test him. And that's the reason he is disguised as a deer and the Pandavas follow him unknowingly. The sun was hot overhead and the 5 brothers grew more and more weary and thirsty. Yudhishthira sank down under a tree to rest and said to Nakula, "Brother, climb that tree and see whether there is any pool or river nearby." Nakula climbed the tree, looked around and said, "At a little distance I see water plants and cranes. There must certainly be water there." What did you understand in this paragraph? The sun was hot overhead. What time of the day was it? Afternoon. And the 5 brothers grew more and more weary and thirsty. Who were the 5 brothers? Yudhishthira, Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula and Sahadeva. They were all walking for a long time and they were tired, weary, extremely tired. They were thirsty. Yudhishthira sank down under a tree. Sank down, to fall or lower down oneself. You sink down or he sank down on the sofa after a tiring day. Yudhishthira sank down under a tree to rest and said to Nakula, "Brother, climb that tree and see whether there is any pool or river nearby." So who says these words? Yudhishthira to Nakula. Nakula climbed a tree, looked around and said, "At a little distance I see water plants and cranes. There must certainly be water there. Where do you see water plants and cranes? Where there is water. So here, this was a sign that there is water there. So Nakula happily says that there is water nearby. How does he feel? Why does he feel there is water nearby? Because he saw water plants and cranes. Yudhishthira sent him to fetch some water. Fetch, to get. You can underline this in your textbook. To fetch some water to drink. Nakula was glad when he got to the place and saw that there was a pool. He was very thirsty himself and so thought of quenching his thirst first before taking water in the quiver for his brothers. But no sooner than he dipped his hand in the transparent water, he heard a voice which said, "Stop, Nakula, do not drink. This pool belongs to me. O son of Madri, answer my questions and then drink the water." Nakula was surprised, but carried away by his intense thirst and heedless of the warning. He knelt down and began to drink the water. At once he began to feel terribly drowsy, and he fell down to all appearing dead. Shall we get back to the paragraph? Keep your textbooks with you and you're going to underline the words and write the meanings if possible. Yudhishthira sent him to fetch some water. Fetch means to bring. Nakula was glad. Glad is happy. When he got to the place and saw that there was a pool, he was very thirsty himself and so thought of quenching his thirst first before taking water in the quiver for his brothers. Quenching, satisfying. Quiver, a case for the arrows. So for whom did he want to take water? For his brothers. No sooner than he dipped his hand in the transparent water. Transparent, clear. What are the synonyms of transparent? See-through, clear, translucent, crystal clear, or lucid, L-U-C-I-D. These are all synonyms. Synonyms means the words which mean the same. He heard a voice which said, "Stop, Nakula, do not drink. This pool belongs to me. O son of Madri, answer my questions and then drink the water." So this is the warning voice. It is a voice which warns him that he should not drink water. Instead, first answer him. Nakula was surprised, but carried away by his intense thirst. Intense means extreme thirst, and heedless, not listening. Heedless is not listening of the warning. He knelt down. Knelt is the past tense of kneel, and began to drink the water. At once he began to feel terribly drowsy, and he fell down to all appearing dead. Appearance, noun form, not needed here. You should write appearing dead. When Nakula did not return for a long time, Yudhishthira sent Sahadeva to see what the matter was. Sahadeva also ignored the warning. He drank the water and at once dropped down. When Sahadeva too failed to return, Yudhishthira sent Arjuna to see whether the brothers had met with any danger. Arjuna went swiftly. He saw his brothers lying dead near the pool. Heartbroken with grief, he wanted to avenge their deaths. However, he too was overwhelmed by the monstrous thirst which compelled him towards the fatal pool. So the first person to go near the pool was Nakula. When Nakula did not return, his brother Sahadeva was sent by Yudhishthira to see what the matter was. The same thing happens in your house. You go somewhere and to the shop or somewhere nearby, you don't return back. Your father, brother, somebody comes in search of you, or your mom comes in search of you, or they call, right? Now here he is worried. So he sends Sahadeva. Who sends Sahadeva? Yudhishthira. Sahadeva also ignored the warning. He drank the water and at once dropped down. He was unconscious. He appeared dead too. When Sahadeva too failed to return, Yudhishthira sent Arjuna. Arjuna you would have heard of. He is good at bow and arrow, right? Arjuna to see whether the brothers had met with any danger. Arjuna went swiftly. Swiftly, he was quick enough to go there. He saw his brothers lying dead near the pool. Heartbroken with grief, he wanted. Heartbroken with grief means what? He was extremely sad. Extremely sad. Grief, sad. He wanted to avenge their deaths. Avenge, he wanted to take revenge. Whose deaths? His brothers' deaths. Who were the people who have fallen there? Nakula and Sahadeva. However, he too was overwhelmed by a monstrous thirst. So that was not an ordinary thirst which you could overcome. He wanted to drink water very badly. Overwhelmed, its strong emotional effect that one feels and does not know how to react, which compelled is forced, compelled him towards a fatal pool. Fatal, something which gets bad luck to you, brings bad luck to you. So in this paragraph, you have learnt that after Nakula, the second person to go near the pool was Sahadeva. Sahadeva does not return, and then Arjuna was sent by Yudhishthira to see what had happened to those brothers. Now, since you have done 3 paragraphs, we are going to check your comprehension. Who did Yudhishthira ask to look for water? Nakula. So Yudhishthira asked Nakula to look for water. Why do you think Nakula was happy when he got to the place? Nakula was happy because he got clear, transparent water to drink. And he could quench his thirst. Can you give a word which means transparent or almost the same? Transparent means clear. Why do you think Nakula did not obey the voice? Nakula was very thirsty. Nakula wanted to drink water first to quench his thirst. Therefore, he did not obey the voice of the Yaksha. What happened to Nakula when he drank the water? When Nakula drank the water, he began to feel terribly drowsy and fell down to all appearing dead. Why did Yudhishthira send Sahadeva to see what the matter was? Yudhishthira had sent Nakula to bring water, but Nakula did not return for a long time. Therefore, he sent Sahadeva to see what the matter was. Why did Sahadeva meet the same fate as Nakula? Sahadeva also did not care for the warning of the bodiless boys. Therefore, he met the same fate as Nakula. Today's assignment. Write word meanings of this chapter in classwork book. Write the answers of questions 1 to 7 in your classwork book. Thank you and have a nice day.